peace. It is beneficial not only for you mentally, spiritually, physically, but it is beneficial for those who are outside the kingdom to see you living in peace so that they will be spiritually, not physically, but spiritually attracted. They will want to know. They will see something in you. They will be drawn to what is in you. I pray that you understand this today. Next week, much more difficult message than this week. You think this one's hard? Next week's going to be a lot of fun. But we're going to talk about something that's the most destructive tool on this planet. The tool, something that God has given us that sets the whole world ablaze. You know what it is? It's the tongue. More difficult. So if this scares you, next week's going to be really scary. But we need it. We need it. Let's all stand. I've worked with men and talked to them, and they told me about some of their struggles. You know what I've seen a lot of their struggles is? It's this mind thing. They're at work, and all they can do is worry about their wives and what they're doing. I'm talking about this worry about that. And it's just, that's all they do is really worry. And that's just one aspect of things. And it's right here. It's right here. We've got to stop it. We've got to begin living and walking in peace. So I'm asking you this morning, do you want the things we're talking about today? Do you want to be more effective? Do you want to be like the tree that's planted by the river? This water that's nourishing every day? Do you want to stop living in fear? Do you want to stop making the same mistakes? You ever just do that? Man, do it again. But you do it again tomorrow. My grandpa used to sing a song. He talked about a man who'd come to church on Sunday, he'd make these vows, and on the same vows on Monday, he would break. He would live that way the rest of the week. He'd come back to church on Sunday, and he resolves that Richard Mary Lane. We see at the end of Romans chapter 7, the Apostle Paul says the same thing, "O wretched man I am, who will deliver me from this?" But he didn't end it on a negative note. This is what he resolved to do at the end of the day, because he knew about this law of sin and death. He knew of the struggle. He resolved even in the struggle. He resolved at the end of the day, I thank my God through my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And that's what you've got to do, brothers and sisters. You make a mistake today, you mess up today, more than likely you will. If you don't make one today, you'll probably make one tomorrow. Not sounding too positive there, am I? Just being real. Just being real. We are imperfect people. But you came to the perfect place. If you are imperfect and you are struggling, and something I've always been puzzled by, adults. Adults puzzle me. They're like, Shannon, you're one. Yeah, but it puzzles me even about me. You go to the children's side of the ministry, the little kids, and they're just unashamed. They don't care. It doesn't matter to them. They raise their hands. Whatever the leader up there tells them to do, they do it. And I'm not saying you always do what I'm telling you to do. It's not what I'm saying. But then they don't care to get up and pray for people. It doesn't bother them. And if they make a mistake, whatever, they don't care to say it. But something happens to adults when we learn different tactics. And we learn how to keep a secret. We learn how to keep to ourselves. And, the pulpit is mentioned twice in the Bible. And it gets lifted up a lot. You know what I'm saying? And people go to the pulpit. In other words, they go to pastors and all that stuff. But the altar is mentioned like 430 some times, maybe more than that. well over 400 times it's mentioned in the Bible. And I'm puzzled why we always put more focus on the pulpit than we do on the altar. And why our altars and our churches aren't full every Sunday. For something. For something. I'm not saying all of you go up there in dirt bags. I'm not saying that. But, you know, why do we always hold back? And I totally get it. I understand where you're at. And I've had that white knuckle syndrome. You know? I stood there and I held on. Just couldn't wait for the pastor to stop speaking so I could go home. And I hold on to that. But I found that when I let go, when I take a step out and I go up to the altar and I pray, I found out what I gained from doing that was much greater than holding on. I found. And it's hard. I know. That's a Gulf Street. We have a hard time with that. And I get it. But if you want, there's an old saying, and I'm going to use it again. If you want something you never had, it's time to do something you never did. It's time to step out. Are you tired? Are you tired of going through this over and over and over again? Do you want victory? Do you want to be, as the Apostle Paul writes in Romans chapter 8, more than conquerors? Do you want to go out and subdue the earth? It starts right here. I'm going to ask him to play a little bit. You need to pray. You want to come up. You want to let go. Are you ready to let go? If you're ready to let go,